Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage. Chadwick with you again for another auto experience. Today we're in a 2011 BMW M3. I think it's got a V8. Yeah, it sounds like a V8, doesn't it?
It sure does.
With me today is my good friend Adam.
What's up, guys?
Whose friend let him borrow this beautiful M3.
Sure did.
So I don't know what to think about that, but we'll be nice to it. Nice-ish.
Okay.
So yeah, this is an awesome car, man. This is, you know, I'd be remiss if I said I hadn't looked at these. To be fair, I look at all cars all the time, but I looked at these really hard for a while because that V8, it's just, you're not going to get another M3 with a V8 ever. Period.
Yep. Naturally aspirated too. It's a beast and a beauty at the same time.
It is. It's gorgeous. Yeah, this design, I know when it came out at first, it was very subtle, but today I think it looks really good, especially with the design direction BMW's gone with lately.
Oh my God.
This just looks even better. So
right.
Maybe that's an attempt on their part to make their older cars look better. Who knows?
Hey, any appreciation. There you go.
Yeah, I can definitely see these getting value in the future. I haven't driven one of these for a while. I drove an E90 back kind of near when they came out with a manual. This is the DCT, which is pretty quick. I do want to say right off the bat, just driving it for a few minutes here, do not think of this as the SMG on the E46. It's such a better system. We do have a list of tasteful modifications, most of them Dinan. Adam's going to get his list out.
Yeah.
That's how we do this.
Exact Dinan upgrades include Dinan springs, over factory EDC struts, ride height adjustable collars that are set so that we don't rub when compressed in the corkscrew, camber plates, monoball control arm bushings, which really sharpens the steering, adjustable front sway bar, Dinan rear tow bars, and oh, not to mention the exhaust, which is also Dinan.
Yeah, we can hear that one.
Which is just the mufflers. It is not a catback system. With this muffler, it's kind of interesting, using a Helmholtz design, they eliminated the need for the quad pipes. So while there is the appearance of quad pipes, it's actually only the inner two that are working. The outer two are cosmetic.
Interesting. Learn something new every day.
Right? So yeah, that pretty much wraps up at least the Dinan upgrades, let's put it that way.
Yeah, nice. Some subtle bolt-ons. It does spice it up a little bit. I love the way it sounds.
Yes.
It sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Driving in automatic mode right now. We will get into the paddles probably for the acceleration test and up in the twisties 100%. Just keeping it in its happy rev range.
Oh, yeah.
This engine, to be fair, it is a V8, but the torque is a little down. I know it gets criticized a lot for that. And if you keep it up in the boil zone, if you keep it up in the 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 range, you don't need to complain about a lack of torque because this thing is trucking.
Yes.
But down low, if you're like shifting at 2,000, 3,000 RPM, a little bit of a dog, I'm not gonna lie.
It leaves much to be desired until that kick in of the torque.
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, good amount of horsepower, I think just over 400. One of the best chassis ever. I don't think the chassis has any kind of shortcomings. It feels really tight.
I will say Dinan just did a retune on this suspension.
Okay.
Not a few days ago, so
wow.
It is a brand new, fully tuned and up-to-date suspension.
So we'll be giving it a fresh test today then.
Yes. We have the pleasure of breaking it back in.
I like it. These things in general are a screaming value right now. It is an E90, not an E92, so it is the sedan, which I'm going to go ahead and say, I think it looks so much better. I think the proportions are better overall. And this is exactly how I'd get it, except I'd switch out, you know, the DCT for the manual just because I'm that guy.
Yep.
So I want to row my own.
It's a solid, you know, argument on that.
And I get it, the DCT's probably quicker. No, DCT's fantastic, but price-wise, you can get a really good deal. If you're looking for the DCT especially, they're way cheaper. I think that's always the case with M3s. The manual versions command a premium. You can get these DCTs for a good rate right now for what it is, especially for what it is.
Yep.
For a screaming 8500 redline V8 and a chassis that doesn't give out.
I mean, I've driven a couple naturally aspirated cars recently and a lot of turbo cars, and this gives all of the modern turbo cars a run for their money.
Yeah, absolutely.
In sound, you're still comparable in power. The gas mileage, not so much. You understand, if you buy this, you have to understand that. This is, you can have it be a daily driver, it's just going to be expensive.
Yeah, you gotta pay somewhere for the performance, of course.
Right.
I think it's the first time these turn signals have ever been used. So, sorry guys, had to do it. So we're gonna run this thing through our objective test. I think it's gonna perform very well. Just so you guys know, the ambient temperature is right around 100 degrees right now. So we've got AC blasting. We're cool. We're happy now, but as soon as I step out to videotape, we're not gonna be well, half of us will be happy.
Right.
Someone will be more happy than the other one. Usually it's the person in this seat. But yeah, no, excited to run this thing through the gears. So let's go ahead and do that at this time. Let's get this BMW going. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. With the M3 up on the scales, we weighed in at 3677, which is about the average weight of a modern sports sedan. With front-rear balance, nothing less was expected. The M3 came in with a nearly 51% front to 49% rear ratio. Let me just break open the journalist handbook on M3 handling details, from the dawn of the E30 to modern day. The ride is firm, but compliant. The M3 navigates corners as if on rails. Steering is both direct and precise. Okay, enough of that old news. Yes, it's all true. But this competition package equipped E90 M3 with tasty Dinan suspension upgrades really brings a top-tier handling experience to the party. The hydraulic steering, not available on the following F80 generation, is weighted very intuitively and allows for absolutely precise operation. You can feel the nearly 50-50 weighted chassis shifting its weight through the corner, hinting at you to apply throttle at the exact most optimum moment. This car makes you feel like a certified Hutfoot, folks. Drop some meaty Michelin Pilot Sport 4S rubber into the equation, and there's an overabundance of grip. In one word, this M3 feels planted. The E90 M3's exterior wears its aggression with a high level of subtlety. No garish, tacked-on body cladding needed to get the job done here. Those knowing what to look for will see the business taking care of details. The front end features a deep opening allowing improved cooling characteristics. An aggressive lower chin spoiler serves to slice any unfortunate air caught in front of the accelerating M3. Blacked out kidney grills are free of all chrome associated with the common 3 Series offerings. An extremely lightweight hood features a massive power bulge, which is flanked by 2 vents. Heck, even one of them is functional. This M3 is all about purpose. The rear design pulls everything in towards the center, allowing for the appearance of a smaller vehicle overall. This is clever and effective. The subtle trunk lid spoiler certainly adds some factor of downforce, and a mesh central diffuser allows muffler heat to be extracted while moving. Centered quad tailpipes are similar in design to those found on the E46 M3. These Dinan examples follow the trend line of subtly aggressive with their black finish.
The Competition Package 19-inch wheels are a timeless design and perfectly match the dimensions of this M3. Truth be told, I've never really been a fan of the E90 Series interior. Well, because of how bland it is. The M3 does improve upon this with upgraded materials. In typical M-car fashion, the seats are fantastic butt holsters, pairing comfort with equal parts restraint. Bolsters hold you well enough, and a massive range of adjustability allows you to find that just right seating position. I really enjoy the two-tone leather option here on both the front and rear seats. Speaking of the rear seats, these have to be the first truly functional ones ever fitted to an M3. The carbon fiber interior treatment actually complements the car's racing persona, and the touch points are well executed, especially the steering wheel, with perfect notches and ideal thickness. The center stack is again simply just there. I would opt for the non-iDrive model to clean it up further and give it a more timeless look. Gauges are very clear, but I do miss the traditional gray backing of M-cars past. Overall, the E90 M3 interior is highly functional and filled with plenty of quality materials. The engine of the E90 M3 has to be its most iconic attribute. Gone is the tried and true inline 6. In its place, a howling 8,300 RPM redlining 4-liter all aluminum V8. The S65 engine made 414 horsepower stock and 295 pound-feet of torque, both quite high in the rev range, a characteristic that compels the driver to push the car, something the M3 reacts to quite favorably. Much like the inline 6s of yester models, the V8 tears through its rev range with a purpose and smoothness not often displayed in V8 engines. Its high redline makes the E90 M3 an absolute blast to drive hard. And boy, the soundtrack this engine delivers. A 7-speed DCT gets the power to the rear wheels in this E90 M3. Yes, I would personally opt for the 6-speed manual. No surprise there, but the DCT is a seriously fast shifting gearbox. Shift speed / harshness selectability reminded me of an E46 SMG, but fear not, this transmission is superior in every way. M Dynamic mode puts the M3 into full battle readiness. But why is such a potent button so insignificantly sized and right next to the disc change button? Preceded by one generation of 4-cylinder homologation awesomeness, 2 generations of smooth revving yet raspy inline 6s, and followed by a return of the inline 6 with 2 turbos bolted on. The E90, with its V8 power plant, is quite the oddity in the family. Like we spoke about earlier in the film, we will almost surely never again see a naturally aspirated M3, let alone such a high revving example with 8 cylinders. The E90 M3's power plant encapsulated a crazy moment in the sports car market, where nearly all manufacturers showcased amazing V8 powered vehicles. Audi had the RS4, Mercedes-Benz had the C63 AMG, and Lexus had the ISF. All was right with the world. Don't get me wrong, the F80 with its twin turbos offers metric gobs more torque, and I love the character of the old inline 6s. But this V8 is the drama queen of the M3 engine lineup. It's shouty, demands all your attention, and is an absolute experience to pilot.